Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic that is surface and interfacial phenomena, and that the third lectures are there in that topic. So today in that sessions we have to discuss about the spreading coefficient, the surfactant, then the adsorption at liquid surface and adsorption at the solid surface. So we have to see one by one the spreading coefficient. So when we have to take the drop of the oleic acid that is placed on the surface of the water, so it will go for the spread as a film. So the ability of the one liquid to spread over the another, that is calculated as a spreading coefficient. So we have to understand that concept of the spreading. So we have to know about the two parameters, that is work of cohesion and the work of adhesion. So we have to see the examples like this. So tubes that having any one liquid, pure liquid, or the spreading liquids whose cross sectional area is around 1 centimeter squares are there. So if we have to apply the force is applied on this liquid tube to separate into the two parts that we have to see in the figure. So if we have to apply the force on this liquid tube to separate into two parts, then the work done, that is called as a work of cohesion, and thus we can say it will be equal to the surface tension, the times the amount of new area created. So it is divided into two parts, so area it becomes twice, so duplex film forms, so 2 centimeter square is created. So the work of cohesion is equal to, we can say that WC is equal to 2 gamma, or 2 gamma means the two surface tensions is equal to the work of cohesion in that case. Second, we have to see if the spreading is, we can say that the tube, we have tubes that make of two liquids which is do not miscible or immiscible to each other, example like oil and water, and then if we have to apply the force is applied to that liquid tubes to cause the liquid to separate into the two parts, so then the work done is called as the work of adhesion. So in that case, the three things which have been taken place while separating the tube of two immiscible liquid. So first one, the creation of 1 centimeter square of surface area of that water or sublayer. Second, the creation of 1 centimeter square of the oil, the spreading liquids, and the destruction of 1 centimeter square interface between the oil and water. So work of adhesions will be WA is equal to the gamma of liquid plus gamma of sublayer, means the gamma L, gamma S, minus the destruction of that 1 centimeter or the interface. So that is the work of adhesion. So if spreading is spontaneous, the surface free energy is reduced and the value of the spreading coefficient should be, we can say that the positive or the negative or 0, like that. So the spreading coefficient is the difference between the work of adhesion and the work of cohesion. So the equation spreading coefficient S is equal to WA, the work of adhesion, minus WC, work of coefficient. So finally equations becomes the surface tension of sublayer minus surface tension of liquid layer, spreading layer, minus that destruction, the surface tension of that liquid and the sublayer. So in that, the spreadings occur when the spreading coefficient is positive. Positive means when the adhesive force is more than the cohesive force, so that the R means gamma S is greater than the gamma L plus gamma LS. So that is that position, that possibilities, those conditions, the spreading occurs. And if we can say that the spreading does not occur when spreading coefficient value is negative. So at that time the gamma s, the surface tension of sublayer, is less than the surface tension of L plus gamma ls. So in that case, when the adhesive force is less than the cohesive force, for the positive, when spreading occurs, then the adhesive force is greater than the cohesive force. For negative case, the adhesive force is less than the cohesive force. So that application of that spreading coefficient in pharmaceutical point of view, pharmaceutical field, so it is used for the stabilization of emulsion, adsorption of medicament to the skin, for the spreading parts from cream, lotions, ointment like that, and the coating of the tablet on that parts also spreading required. Then the next, the adsorption at the liquid interface. So in that phenomena of that adsorption, we can say is the adhesion of atom, ion or molecules from a gas or liquid, or a dissolved solid to the surface or interface of that gas or liquid. So the adsorptions at the interface, that considered into two types, the positive adsorptions and the negative adsorptions. So positive, when the certain solutes, molecules or ions, when we have to add into a liquid, they are partitioned in favor of surface or the interface. So this phenomena is called as a positive adsorption. So the molecules, solute ions, that partition of favor to the surface part. So the result in that increase the concentration of such molecules or ions or solute at the interface than the bulk of the liquid. So it lower or reduce the surface free energy as well as the surface tension. In negative adsorptions, when certain molecules, ions or solutes like inorganic electrolytes that we have to add into the liquid bulk, so are partitioned in favor of bulk of the liquid. So this result in increase the surface free energy and the increase the surface tension. So this phenomena is known as a negative adsorption. Next, that is surface active agent or the surfactant. So these are the agents that we have to use to lower the surface tension and the interfacial tension between the two liquids. So surfactants are solute molecules or ions that are adsorbed at the surface or interface and that reduce the surface and interfacial tension. They are also known as or called as a amphiphile. Amphiphile means we can say that they have affinity for both the nature polar solvent and the non-polar solvent, because due to the presence of the polar head and the non-polar tail. So surfactant may be hydrophilic or lipophilic. If hydrophilic, if it is predominantly in a polar in nature, and lipophilic if it is a predominantly in a non-polar nature. So it is amphiphilic natures of surfactants that orient then towards polar solvents or away from the polar solvent. So we can say the lipophilic chains are oriented towards the air or air-water interface and towards oil phase at the oil-water interface. So surfactant decrease the surface tensions or interfacial tension due to their adsorption at the interface or the surface. Then the classification. So surfactant which have we can classified into 4 types: anionic surfactant, cationic surfactant, then amphoteric or ampholytic, then non-ionic surfactant. So anionic surfactant, so it is a more common type of surfactant containing organic tails or negative charge head, and small positive molecules are there. In cationic, so organic tails with positive head, positive charge head, and small negative molecules are there. Non-ionic surfactant, so that is not ionization in the water, because there we can say hydrophilic part consists of non-dissociable molecules are there. So in pharmaceutical point of view, that is most widely used the non-ionic surfactant. So they are compatible with both anionic and cationic surfactant. They are resist to pH change also, relatively non-toxic. So that's why non-ionic surfactant that most widely used in pharmaceutical parts. Then ampholytic or amphoteretic, so that both positive and negative parts are there. The anionic, cationic, both the behaviors are there, both the categories. So it is dependent on the pH of that system. So pH changes that we have the cationic or the anionic. So below a certain pH they are cationic, while above certain pH they are considered as a anionic. So that is the ampholytic or amphoteric surfactants are there. So when surfactant that we have to add into the water, so the hydrophilic head will oriented towards the water part and lipophilic end will oriented away from the water. When same solute that is added to the immiscible system, so we can say that the hydrophilic head will be oriented towards the aqueous phase or away the oil, and lipophilic ends will be oriented towards the oil phase. Then next, at lower concentration of that surfactant molecules will be distributed at the surface, and surface is not completely filled. So that as the concentration of surfactant we have to go for increasing, so that is we can say in the figure at lower concentration, so that not completely fill the surface. When we have to increase the concentration, the surface is filled up progressively, and finally the surface is completely saturated with that surfactant, which will mark the decrease in the surface tension. So that is, so if more amount of surfactant that is further added, after that we have to add further, after the saturations of that surface of that liquid, after fulfill the surface with the surfactant, if more amount of surfactant further we have to add after the saturation of that surface liquid, so the molecules, the surfactant molecules will further move onto the bulk of that liquid, and that associated into the small aggregate or small spherical particle globules, like that is called the micelle. So they are spherical in the shape and having a colloidal dimensions around like 0.001 up to 0.5 micrometer, and each micelles that contain around 50 to 100 surfactant molecules. So if polar solvent, the polar groups of the surfactant will be oriented towards the aqueous phase, and non-polar group will be oriented towards the center of the spherical structure of that micelles. In the opposite, so in non-polar solvent, the non-polar group of the surfactant will be oriented towards the non-aqueous phase like oil, and non-group will be oriented, non-polar group, in that polar groups will be oriented towards the center of the spherical structure of that micelles. So non-polar group will be oriented towards the center of that spherical structure of that micelles. And in that the critical micellar concentration, so the minimum concentration of the surfactant or we can say the lowest concentration of the surfactant at which the formation of micelle start, that is called the CMC value, CMC. So the lowest concentration of the surfactant in the bulk of the liquid at which the formation of micelle starts. So that is called the critical micellar concentration. So the micelles, we can say, generally spherical in shape, but they are believed to be rearranged to a lamellar shape at higher concentration. Then initially the surfactant molecules are absorbed at the liquid air and the liquid container interface are there. So further addition of that surfactant, so this interface become more and more crowded with the molecules until they are so tightly packed that further occupancy of that require expensive compressions are there. So that is the state is called the saturation adsorption. So the further that addition of the surfactant from this state, it increase the concentration at the interface and surface will be very low, but concentration will increase in the bulk of that liquid. At the CMC, the formation of that colloids or micelles within the bulk of that liquid, that will result in marked change in their physical properties like conductivity, viscosity, density, osmotic pressures. So at that CMC, the solubility of poorly soluble compound is increased due to the formation of the micelle. So this phenomena is called the solubilization. So this may be used to find out the CMC of that surfactant. The next, the HLB scale, the hydrophilic, lipophilic, the balance systems are there. So in the Griffin in 1949 found a useful method for calculating the balance mixture of emulsifying agent. So for the selection of emulsifying agent for the emulsion, so that we have to use the HLB system. So generally each emulsifying agent has a hydrophilic portion and a lipophilic portion. So each portion, we can say, that might be a more or less predominant for resulting in providing the different type of emulsion. So the method that has been devised to categorize the emulsifying agent on the basis of their hydrophilic, lipophilic nature or balance, and each emulsifying agent has its polarity. The scale is framed called the HLB scale, and their value is having between the range of 1 to 20 that we have to see in that figure. So in that we can say that the HLB value is nearer to 1. It indicates its surfactant is soluble in the oil. It means in lipophilic nature, strongly lipophilic in nature. If HLB value is nearer to 20, so it indicates highly hydrophilic in nature, water soluble, so surfactant is soluble in the water. So higher the number indicate the agent may be, the surfactant may be hydrophilic, while low HLB value indicate the agent is lipophilic in nature. So in that, the values, the materials having values between 3 to 6 or 3 to around 7, 8, so it great lipophilic and it produces the water in oil type of emulsion or we can say water in oil type of emulsifying agents are there, and those having HLB values from 9 or 8 to 18, so it is greatly hydrophilic and that produce the oil in water type of emulsion. Then next, the adsorption at the solid interface. So we can say that the adsorption is a surface phenomena. So the accumulation of the gas or liquid to the surface of solid, that is called the adsorption. And adsorption of material at solid interface can take place from either an adjuvant liquid or the gas phase. So the material that is used to adsorb the gas, that is called the adsorbent. Two parts are there, that is important. The adsorbent means the material that is used to adsorb the gas or the liquid. So it is called the adsorbent, and adsorbate is the substance that being absorbed, the substance that is attached to the surface of that solid, that is adsorbate. So the degree of that absorption of gas by the solid, they depend on the nature of the adsorbents and its surface area. We can say the nature of adsorbents and their partial pressure of that gas and the temperature. So the adsorptions generally recognized or classified as a two types: physical adsorption and the chemical adsorption. So we have to see the difference are there. Physical adsorption is reversible, chemical adsorption it is irreversible. Here in physical adsorptions, the van der Waals forces are there, weak van der Waals forces are there, and in chemically, so strong chemical bonds are there. That is non-specific for physical adsorption, more specific for the chemical absorptions that occurs common at low temperature, that occur at the high temperature. Heat of adsorption is low as compared to chemical adsorptions. So here the examples for that is the adsorption of gas on the charcoal, and for chemical adsorption the example is adsorption of oxygens on the silver or the gold. So here we can say that the combination of both type of absorption is known as a adsorption, and the removal of that adsorbate or molecules adsorbate from the adsorbent, that is called the desorption. So the adsorption of gas is important in following area that we have to see. The criteria are there. So removal of objectionable odors from the room. So that time the prevention of obnoxious gases entering into the body, the gas mass, estimation of surface area and the particle size of that powder. So here the amount of gas that physically absorb on the solid and the equilibrium pressure or concentration at constant temperature that yield an adsorption isotherm. So the amount of gas that absorbed per unit area or unit mass of solid, that is measured at different pressure of the gas at constant temperature. So that is the adsorption isotherms are there. So in that we have to plot the graph, the amount of adsorbent, the gas, or versus the pressure, the amount of gas adjoint unit versus the pressure, that is known as a adsorption isotherm. So many different type of the adsorption isotherms are there that you have to see in that figure. The 5 different types are there. The type 1, that is characteristic of that the microscopic, we can say, solid with a relatively small portions of the outer surface, and type 2 we refer as a polymolecular adsorptions in non-porous or macroporous adsorbent. In type 3, that is characteristics of that non-porous adsorbents with low energy of that adsorbate interactions are there. Type 4, 5 we can say similar to type 2 and 3 but refer as a porous adsorbents as compared to type 2 and 3, that is non-porous adsorbents are there. So say there are different equations that which describe the relationship between the amount of adsorption and the pressure of that gas. So that is, you can say that the depending on the whether the force holding the adsorbents to the adsorbent, the physical adsorptions, already we have to see physical and chemical. So in that the relationship between the amount of adsorption and pressure of gas, that we have to describe like Freundlich isotherm. So in that the adsorbance gas is in equilibrium with the gas molecules in a vapor phase, and the condition of that equilibrium at constant temperature that are given by the equation of Freundlich. So the relation between the pressure of the gas and the amount adsorbed at constant temperature, so that may be expressed by the equation, that is the x upon m is equal to Kp 1 upon n, where the x upon m, that we have to say that the gas absorbed per unit weight of that adsorbent, P the equilibrium pressure, K is the constant, K and N are the constant that depend on the temperature and the nature of that adsorbent and the adsorbate. So here we have to plot the graph x upon m versus the pressure P. So we have to result at the curve that's shown in the figure, and then we have to go for the logarithm, take the log of that equations. So log x upon m is equal to log k plus 1 upon n into log p, and then we have to plot the graph between log x upon m versus log p. So we get the straight line that is obtained, and from that we have to calculate the k and the slope. From that we have to find out the n value. Slope is equal to 1 upon n. So from that we have to find out the n value, and the intercept, from that we have to find out the k. So that is the Freundlich isotherm equations, or from Freundlich adsorption isotherm. The second one, Langmuir adsorption. So Langmuir, that is develop an equations in which molecules or atom or gas are adsorbed on an active site of the solid to form a layer of one molecule thick. So following adsorptions that are made for the Langmuir, the Langmuir in 1916 that proposed the another adsorption isotherm as compared to the Freundlich, so which explain the variation of adsorption with the pressure. So their theory is based on the variation on the adsorption with the pressure. So he derived an equation which shows a relationship between the number of active site of that surface undergoing the adsorption and the pressure. So some assumptions are there, certain assumptions for which Langmuir proposed with his theory. So that fixed number of the vacant or adsorption site, active sites, are available on the surface of the solid. All the active site or adsorption vacant sites are equal size and shape on the surface of the adsorbent. Each site can hold the maximum of one gaseous molecules and constant amount of heat, that energy is released during the process. Adsorption is maybe a monolayer or unilayer. The dynamic equilibrium exists between the adsorbed gaseous molecules and the free gaseous molecules are there. So that adsorptions that we have to see. So at the pressure, we can say that particular P, the fraction that occupied by the gas molecule is denoted by the theta, and the fraction of site not occupied, that is denoted by the 1 minus theta. So the rate that is for adsorption or condensation of that gas molecules on the surface is proportional to the unoccupied spot or unoccupied space. So that is 1 minus theta. So that R1 is equal to K1 1 minus theta into P. And for the rate R2, so the evaporation of molecules bound on the surface, that is proportional to the fraction of the surface. So the R2 is equal to K2 theta, where K1, K2 are proportionally constant for the process of adsorption and the desorptions are there. So at equilibrium, the R1 is equal to R2. So the arrangement of that equation, so finally we can get the K1P upon K2 plus K1P. So Y is equal to the mass of that gas absorbed or gas of absorbent, in the Ym for the mass of gas that one gram of adsorbent can take up when a monolayer is complete. So that equations may become the y is equal to YmBP upon 1 plus Bp. So P upon Y for the langular absorption isotherm. So y is equal to YmBP upon 1 plus Bp. So that the y is equal to the mass of, we can say that the gas absorbance, and Ym the mass of gas that 1 gram of the adsorbent can absorb when monolayer is completed. Then we have to plot the graph, the P upon Y versus pressure. So we have to get the straight line. So that is the langular adsorption isotherm, that is based on the variation on adsorptions with the pressure. So that we have to see about the spreading coefficient, surfactant, the HLB value, and the adsorption at the liquid surface and absorption at the solid surface. Thank you.